Hey, this is Christy. So, yeah, right off the bat, it looks pretty good looking at this. Let's try color feedback. And I don't particularly like a split down the center of the face. And I always got to turn this off. It really slows down Maya for me when color feedback is on. Um, and also, there's something right here going on, which is not good. Oh, it's kind of acting a little slow. Wonder, is there a lot of history on this? No. What's up? Okay. So, yeah, it's only on this side, so who knows? You can just manually move that back into position. So you can have a cut down the center of this face, but that means there's a seam there. And we'll be showing you how to paint over seams, but it's such a prominent spot that it's just not a great place to have a seam. So it's going to let me double. No, it's not letting me. Yeah, it keeps doing. Oh, I have to go in and manually do this. Okay. I thought I could shift double click and go between the range. Probably if I did that actually on the model, I'd be alright. But it's okay, it doesn't take too long. So let's see how move and sew does for us. Is that this one? Yeah. Okay. So, and shell, pick this guy. You can try just want to make sure I select all the UVs of that. You can try just unfolding it again because it might do it slightly differently now that the whole thing is together. Oh, this is really important. Let's check our unfold options. And yes. So this is important for everybody. Window, settings, preferences, plugin manager. Um, Make sure unfold is checked and checked. Then close. And let's try this again. Fold options. There it is. Unfold 3D. So, yeah, I'm hoping. Oh, okay. So yeah, so now I've got to scale it up again, but that's okay. Let's before we scale it up, let's just take a look at the color feedback and some slightly red areas. So what are these? Oh, jeez. Yeah, this color feedback really slows things down. Turn that off. Okay. Two shell. Control right mouse click. Two shell. That is the inside of the mouth, which is not a big deal anyways because you're not going to see it too much. But yeah, you can scale those up a bit if you want, just for good form. I don't know. Okay, let's turn that off. Get a closer look at the face. It is a bit red around those eyes, but yeah, what I would say is, oh, just gotta turn this off. Let's turn on checker. See what we see. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything that immediately causes some. It looks like there's a little bit of stretching around this neck area. Right there, for some reason, it compress that so that's not as square as I'd like to see, but I don't think it's going to cause you a terrible time. Yeah, so nothing is too alarming to me. So yeah, let's go ahead and scale up that face. So turn checker off, select some of these. Actually, in this case I can just right mouse click and choose shell, pick it. Maybe like that. Lay them out again. Check the checkers. Okay, pretty happy with that. Nothing is terribly alarming. Okay. Oh yeah, good work on that, Christy. So this is Yuri, and he had some issues with some small pieces before, but it seems like it's working now. Let's take a closer look. Nothing is looking too strange or alarming with the checkers. Okay. I guess there's a seam along the back there. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not really finding much fault with this. Oh, you still have these little guys here and those little guys there. So, where are those? Oh. Yeah, it's looking to me like I'm going to switch that to 2UVs, control right mouse click, 2UVs, 2UVs. Hey, not 2UVs, sorry, control right mouse click, 2 vertices, 2 vertices. It looks like there's something a little odd with the surface here. I'm just going to look at one side. Let's get inside there. It's giving me a hard time. Okay, let's just select this one side. I don't know why it's... There must be some other verts selected somewhere on this that it's not framing selected. When I hit F, there we go. Alright, so we're inside there. Could be because this is sort of a... See how that's just an individual face pulled out from this? See, I think you're going to want to get in here. It's a little hard to control when you're looking at it from the inside. I think you're going to want to get rid of some edges here. And make sure you do this symmetrically when you actually do it. Control delete. Oops. I'm just messing it up. Maybe some... See how that's just one face pulled out there? Let's see what happens if we delete these two whole faces. Did I just punch a hole in this thing? I did. But I don't know why we need these. Here, do we really need those? Ah, see, there is some extra just funny stuff here. So I think the thing to do is to kind of try and clean this area up. Control delete, yeah. And then, I might take this, and this, and edit mesh, merge components to center. So I think that there's those little problems in those areas, and it already looks much kind of cleaner and better to me. So I think you had some extra little edges and faces, and that's why you're getting what we saw, these little things here. And I guess, it's probably not the end of the world. Probably nobody's ever going to see it anyways. But if you wanted to get it just right, you would need to clean up the model because there's some funny stuff on the model there. But yeah, all that said, other than that, this is looking really good, and it should work fine. Okay, this is Erica. So we're getting this weird thing again. We got all the history on it here. I don't know even what this is. Polysurface 5. It's like a duplicate of it with history. I'm just going to delete that to get that out of the way. But yeah, a quick look at this character. Well, this one has history on it too, and it didn't cause a problem. Interesting. It's just it's none of the modeling history. It's all the UV mapping history, though. That's probably why. Yeah, this checker map looks really good. You mentioned that the feet one is a little stretched out, so we could take a look at that. So certainly, let's just pick this one. 2 shell. Oh, what do we? I thought that must be the bottom of the foot. So yeah, that's getting that longer, and then those things are getting a little bit more square. If I want now, I could probably scale it down evenly. If they're still looking square, it's a little hard to tell. But yeah, so if you wanted to play with those, you could, grab those shells and adjust them. See, I'm just scaling that longer on that real quick. That gets that those a little more square. So, and you can try laying it out again and see how it looks. So that's how you could play with those. But yeah, I think it's pretty workable. It looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any real issues in here at a quick glance. So yeah, good work on this. Oh, this is Joseph. Yeah, I'm thinking where you were suffering unnecessarily is you didn't have the proper Unfold 3D thing. So, and I showed that a moment ago, but just in case you missed it, Windows, Settings Preferences, Plugin Manager, and under Unfold 3D, you want to have these both checked. And once you do that, the Unfold 3D option shows up in here. So I think you were doing it with the legacy one, which is not good. So let's select all the UVs and unfold, and we're already most of the way there. So honestly, I think that was your problem. I'm sorry that you may have suffered along the way. And then from there, I'm going to want to grab that face and, give that some more room, lay them out again. Job done for the most part, I think, yeah. Yeah, it's looking fine. Okay. So there's your solution. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, just do that and you'll be solid. Good work. This is Joseph. Hi, Joseph. So, at a quick glance, this is looking pretty good on the checkers on the character. For this though, you're going to want to keep everything in the quadrant, and you should just be able to hit the layout tool again, and that will solve that for you. So, but with that now, yeah, it looks like you've done fine. You got the face scaled up and everything. Yeah, this should work well. So this is Joshua. So it's looking like you're saying. So you mentioned a non-manifold geometry. I just want to talk about that. If you have like odd surface issues, weird stuff going on, one thing that's good to look at is mesh cleanup, and this will just help clean up your mesh, like the name says. So some of the options I like to have are, tessellate any faces that have more than 4 sides, tessellate any concave faces, and you can check these other ones as well, although non-planar I don't think I would do. So, and then definitely have non-manifold geometry checked, which I think by default is not checked, so make sure you have that and that and that. And then run cleanup on it, and I don't know that it did anything in here, but so you've cut the hands off. I'm wondering if you just ran that with the hands on, if that would have solved the problem, because now you have to model the hands, and once you do the hands you'll have to kind of fix the UV map all over again. So which is, I don't know, I guess I wouldn't have recommended UV mapping a model that wasn't complete necessarily. All that said, this UV map looks fine. This looks good. I don't really see any problems. A little curious, what are these guys? Bottom of the feet. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe, oh, it's actually probably fine. It looks sort of small, but I think it's okay. So, yeah, I mean, for this model, what you have, the checkers look good, the UV map's fine, but now you have to add the hands, and then when you add the hands, you'll have to UV map those again. So, a little tricky, but yeah, it should be all right. So keep going with that. This is Adrian, and he said he's unable to save as a Maya ASCII file. Which is odd. It's should just be save scene as options and choose Maya ASCII here. So be interested to find out if you're getting some kind of error when you do that, or what happened. It's, just to be frank, it's pretty rare that I really need the ASCII file, because I rarely am going to open that and try and read it. Sort of once in a blue moon kind of thing. So it's not that big of a deal to turn into my binary, but I think it's just sort of good standard practice to use an ASCII file. But yeah, looking at this, it's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's much to say or change. I think you've got, yeah, I don't see any real problem areas at all. So this is pretty straightforward, and that should work. So this is Evren, and so in this case, this does have some real problems in it. So see how the checkers stop being checkered here, and they just kind of stretch into this one long thing, and something similar going on with the arms here, and you have these real pinched and squeezed areas. So that's a result of, I mean, this is what, if you look at this is about what the UV map of a cube looks like. So if I was to make a cube, that's, right now I have a cube right here. That's the UV map of a cube, because we've started with the cube. It's like box modeling. So this is something that really hasn't been, cut up and unfolded at all. So can't really give you credit for this assignment. I also think you should work on the model a bit more. Yeah, you can see here, the problems when that become very obvious with that checker. Yeah, I would say you could keep working on the character a bit, maybe get a little bit more shape to these hands. I mean, if you want to do the kind of mitt thing, like like oven mitt sort of hand. I think that's fine. I just think, maybe get it a little thinner, give it a little bit more shape. Um, it's going to look a little bit better that way. And yeah, I mean, some facial features, getting the eyes and the nose and stuff like that going. So I think you have a ways to go on this model to make it really useful. Um, and yeah, you do have to do the UV maps because they're not done at all. So, um, but I think it's not that far off actually, or not. So, but get in touch if you're struggling and don't think you can finish this model and want to use the stock model. But this is not too far off, so it probably is worth finishing if you can take the time. This is Rick. Hello, Rick. Yeah, just from a first glance, this is looking pretty good. We can see these checkers as well. Not really seeing any big problems here. I do think modeling wise these fingers have a ways to go. I think there is definitely not enough detail in there for them to bend properly, and they're just very pointy and there's not a lot of shape to them. So you definitely have to have at least 3 loops. Now, I mean, we could smooth the whole thing, and actually that maybe is a good opportunity for me to show you guys that, where if you hit smooth, you see how the UV map works just as well? I just undid that, I'm doing it again. It's like it hasn't changed at all. I'm just toggling back and forth. The checkers remain where they are. So that's kind of a nice thing, is to smooth after UV map, so you're not dealing as many points as when UV map. So with that, still don't think these fingers are going to bend very well without more, loops at each joint. And then there's really not much shape to those. So I think the hands, to be functional, are going to need some more work. But we're mostly here to talk about UVs, and the UVs are just fine. Yeah, they're fine. Good. Okay. So this is Lupita. Hi, Lupita. First thing I'm wondering is, how did you end up triangulating your mesh? That is not something we want to do. So I think if you have a version that's not triangulated, that would be better. Couple ways that could happen. I mean, I showed the mesh cleanup tool before, and I think like if you had this checked, it would do it. There's also there's actually the triangulate thing. I think it's another mesh, isn't it? Yeah, triangulate right here. So I don't know what. Oh wait, hello, right there. Polytriangulate. So it looks like indeed you triangulated. Not sure why. Wonder what would happen if we got rid of that. It's probably gonna like explode or something. Select that, then hit the delete button. Oh, didn't explode. But the UV map did. So we can try to grab the UVs of that, and yeah, it's probably not going to work. Oh, no, not too bad. Okay. Yeah. I'm just a little nervous about that because it may have messed stuff up that I can't even see. It may be better to go back if you had a model before you triangulated it, so you could get everything back as quads. And yeah, let's see what happens when we smooth them. Well, let's. Oh, you've got all these individual pieces here. What are these? And I don't know if that's from what I did, from what you had before, but we can reopen what you had before just to see. It's not it, is it? Did you have little pieces in here? Aha, yes, you did. So, yeah, let's. select that, kind of click here, delete, check that, grab those, unfold, frame selected, grab this face, scale it up, grab all these, lay them out again. Just going to turn off checker. And where are those little pieces? Lots of them. All over the arm. Now, I'm assuming those are the same ones as I had before. And what you can try, and it might mess other stuff up, but you can try like grabbing a bunch of these and moving and sewing. No? Move and sew? No. I have to do one at a time. Oh my gosh. Not even that working. I would start over and do my cuts again rather than trying to clean up all those little bits. That's not going to work well when you're painting it. So yeah, I would take a step back, get rid of the triangulate. Not sure why you did that. What's going on with the surface here? You've got some kind of geometry issue there. Yeah, it's just a little weird that there was some overlapping edges there, so you'll want to clean that up, with some symmetry on both sides. A little bit weird topology on the back too. Maybe kind of try and straighten these out a little bit, maybe get another loop going around there. Feet could use a little bit more shaping to them. So yeah, take the step back, either go to a version that didn't have the triangulate or delete it as I showed, and then go back to where you take the whole thing and do your your planar mapping just to unify everything. It doesn't really matter what that looks like. Do your cuts again, unfold, and so you don't have to deal with those individual faces. It's really second time around won't take that long anyways, and you'll get a nice sound UV map. So yeah, take a few steps back. Let me know if you need any more help with that. So yeah, that's all of them. Good work, everybody, and yeah, let me know if you need any more help with that.